This is the Launchkey MK3, the latest Launchkey keyboard from Novation. It comes in 25, 37, 49, and 61 key versions. I have the 49 key version here, and I've been using it for a few days now. It's an excellent controller if you use Ableton Live. Novation has also added extensive Logic integration and standard DAW control for Reason, Cubase, Pro Tools, Studio One, and Reaper. When the mini version of the Launchkey came out a few months ago, I called it the best mini Ableton controller you can buy. So, does the new Launchkey MK3 live up to the reputation? Let's find out. Today, I'm going to go through all the cool features of the Launchkey MK3, and I'll let you know if it's right for you. I'm going to compare it to a couple other keyboards in this price range as well. I'll talk a little bit about the generic features for most DAWs, and then later we'll dive into the Ableton features. And I'll get into some minor issues as well. You'll find the best prices for this keyboard in the video description. If you're new around here, I'm SanjayC. I have lots of keyboard and gear reviews on my channel. Consider subscribing. I give lots of guidance on choosing the right gear for your studio today and in the future. So what is this? The Launchkey is a budget controller keyboard and is similar in price to the Arturia Essential and the Native Instruments A49 keyboards. And there are 4 sizes of the Launchkey, which is pretty cool, all with large keys. These are not mini keys like the ones on the Launchkey Mini, which I reviewed in a video here. All versions of this keyboard have 16 pads, 8 knobs, and are USB powered and have a MIDI port and pedal port in the back. The 49 and 61 key versions add 9 faders and fader buttons, which the smaller 2 don't have. The 49 key version I've got here costs $219. So at this price, you have other choices in keyboards, and I'll get to that later. So what can it do with most DAWs? The Launchkey provides full integration with Logic and out-of-the-box functionality with Reason, Studio One, Cubase, Pro Tools, and some other DAWs that feature HUI compatibility. This usually means you can control things like track volumes, pans, play, stop, record, the basic stuff. I was able to use the Launchkey MK3 with FL Studio, but it needed a lot of manual setup. Ableton is where this thing really shines. I'll get into that in just a bit. In Logic, you've got transport control, volume, pan, arm, solo, mute, quantize, click, undo, capture recording, track navigation, and you can also play drums on the pads. Lots of stuff. So how does the Launchkey MK3 feel? The keys are standard size with good velocity sensitivity. The keybed is not the best I've played. Now, I'm a pianist, so key feel really matters to me. The Launchkey MK3 feels a little too light for my taste. The drum pads feel good, standard for this price. Honestly, I was hoping they'd feel better than the Launchkey Mini, but it's pretty much the same. The Launchkey MK3 also works well with hardware synths because of its awesome arpeggiator features. You've got tons of options for arps, timing, octave, swing, gate, and the mutate and deviate settings really take arps to the next level. These are kind of like randomizer settings for the arp. Mutate changes up the notes, and deviate adjusts the rest between notes. It's a lot of fun if you've got a synth, but it'll work with your computer and DAW as well. You also have custom modes for the faders, knobs, and pads, which means you can assign different MIDI CCs, program changes, and more with the Novation software. By the way, if you've got more cash to spare, Novation, Native Instruments, and Arturia make premium keyboards in this size as well with more features. The Novation SL Mark III offers extensive sequencing features for your hardware synths and even more Ableton features. I compared all three of those keyboards in a video here. The Launchkey Mark III offers some of the best Ableton integration of any keyboard out there. You can control so much: track volume, track select, pan, sends, solo, mute, play, record, all sorts of things. You have device control right out of the box, so you can control Ableton instruments and effects with these knobs and faders. You also have quantize, click, undo, and capture MIDI, which is a really nice feature on Ableton. You can use the drum pads to play drums, of course, and use them to launch clips and scenes in Ableton Session View. You can launch clips and scenes using both the rows of pads, or you can change the function of the second row to solo, mute, or stop clips with this button on the right. The knob functions can be switched too, to control the Ableton device, or volume, pan, or the sends. The same goes for the faders. You can really set it up as you like. You've got a nice screen on the top left which shows you what you're changing. This is really nice for controlling your Ableton devices. You see it on the screen. But you've got to move one of the knobs to activate the screen. I wish it just showed up as soon as I touched the knob. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below if you have any questions. So, how does the Launchkey Mark III compare with other keyboards at this price? I have both the Arturia Essential and Native Instruments A-series keyboards right here. So what do you get with the Arturia and Native Instruments keyboards that you don't get on the Novation Launchkey? Well, the biggest thing is tight integration with software instrument bundles. Arturia keyboards offer amazing integration with their own Analog Lab software, which means you get a lot of hands-on control of their software instruments, which not only helps sound design, but also helps navigating all the sounds the presets included. The same goes for the Native Instruments A-series keyboard. The tight integration with complete control gives you a lot of unique features you won't find on the Novation keyboard. But there are some added benefits to the Launchkey. The Launchkey has more intuitive and deep integration with Ableton than both the others. And you've got 16 pads, 8 more than the Arturia, and 16 more than the Native Instruments. And the Novation gives you some added features like the built-in arpeggiator that you can use on hardware synths without a computer at all. The keybeds on these keyboards are all different. I have to say the Novation keyboard is my least favorite. It is very light to the touch. The keys on the Arturia and Native Instruments keyboards feel higher quality and have more weight to them, in particular the Native Instruments keyboard. But they are all quite similar. So here are my final thoughts. There's really only one thing I'd complain about with this keyboard: the keybed quality. And as a pianist, that does make a difference to me, but at this price, you really can't get a better Ableton keyboard controller. It really covers all the Ableton bases and does very well for Logic too. And you've got a few nice features for hardware synths as well. If you use Ableton, Novation really has the best keyboard controller at this price. If you're not picky about the key feel, I would highly recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have a question, leave it in the comments below. Keep making the music you love, and check out one of these videos next.